r/NuclearRevenge. First story. Financially, emotionally, and physically destroyed my abuser. Radioactive edit. Thank you so much to everyone for the kind words and wishes. I really appreciate it. Prologue. A bit of backstory. My mother's parents split fairly early in her life, and my grandmother remarried to a toxic pedophile. They will be referred to as A. abuser, and G. grandmother. Due to G's extreme bipolar, and A replacing her medication with prescription painkillers, she was not very stable, or conscious for that matter, so he was the head of the house. So from a young age, about 4 or 5, victim 1, V1, and I would visit A regularly, once a week for a couple days. It wasn't long before A had manipulated us, 2 very young people, into taking part in his sick fantasies. I had taken the time to construct a film studio set up in the roof of his house, where he would regularly abuse V1. And once we had realized how wrong and horrible what was happening was, we were too scared to act. Year 3 to 10 revenge. After 3.5 years of the abuse, I felt like I couldn't speak out, and being a very curious kid, I looked into ways I could hurt A. Since A was much larger than me, I knew it couldn't be physical, so I targeted his assets, his cars. Over the next 6 to 7 years I destroyed 8 cars, metal shavings in the oil, sugar in the gas tank. I even sanded down the clear coat on the doors and hood. This in total cost A $520,000. Year 11th revenge. At this point V1 and I had come out to our parents about the abuse, outline everything from sexual assault, to rape, to production of child abuse material, and drug provision. You name it, it had happened. We soon were followed by 6 other victims who were members of family or close family friends. We took this matter to the police, who swiftly raided A's home, finding hard evidence to back all 77 charges, including hard drives, USBs, etc. This would kickstart our 4-year court case. Now let me tell you, watching A wither down into a shell of what he used to be, as barristers and the judge refer to him as horrifically grotesque and moronic in his actions. He had manufactured stories entailing false people who made him blah blah blah. Man, that is a sweet feeling. Come to the end of the court case and the verdict is reached. The rest of his life in a supermax prison, as well as $15,000 each in recognition payments, and all legal expenses paid. Due to his not guilty plea, these expenses racked up $855,000. Aftermath. All victims, including myself, have come out the other end feeling much safer, and are very happy with the verdict. It was a very long journey, but we've all, luckily, made the most of the support given to us throughout the proceedings. He, however, not so much. TL. Doctor, abuser takes childhood, children take the rest of his natural life, and $1,375,000 to boot. Edit. These values are in Australian dollars. Second story. Manager thought my job role was unnecessary. Finds out the hard way it wasn't. Here is a case of 2 distinct acts of revenge, combining in spectacular fashion to create nuclear revenge. Thanks to redditors in r/pro-revenge for right help. About 20 years ago, I was a sales engineering supporting sales reps at Deutsche Bank Tech Company, DTC. A new sales manager joins the team. He was a former co-worker from a prior job, a petty little man. Prior were peers, now he was a manager over the sales reps I supported. I had a separate chain of command. He was not my manager, but felt he should be. He was resentful of the power that sales engineers in this new company had. In an attempt to show me up, he closed a very large deal with a banking company, ABC, and did so without any involvement from the sales engineers, just one sales rep. He gloats about it publicly, talks about how we don't even need sales engineers, the whole 9 yards. Later, the manager calls me in a panic, and we talk with the customer. The sales rep and the rep sales manager totally fucked things up, and sold the customer an incompatible set of solutions. I say that the customer could exchange one bit of stuff for another bit of stuff. Everything would work, and they are roughly the same price, so nobody would lose any money. But the sales manager doesn't want to do it, because admitting he fucked up would make him look bad. And he bitches at me for bringing up price, because that's supposed to be the rep's job. He calls my boss, and shits all over me. My boss took his side, and shits all over me too. So I'm like, fuck you, I quit. I sent a very lengthy detailed letter to ours explaining how the sales rep fucked up, lied to the customer, and how the sales manager and my boss tried to make me the scapegoat instead of trying to fix it, which would have been easy and made everyone happy. I move on, get a new job, do other things. At some point, I'm chatting with an old friend from DTC, and he mentions they fucked up a huge deal that they spent a year on. I'm still bitter about the Deutsche Bank sales rep manager and my asshole boss, so I post about it on a forum a bunch of investors use. The stock crashed $13 the next day. This will be important later. I find out ABC is suing DTC for fucking up the deal. The deal that the Deutsche Bank sales rep manager fucked up and tried to pin on me. I reach out to ABC, send them a copy of the letter I sent 2 hours, in which I detailed precisely how badly DTC fucked them over. I talk with one of their lawyers and he's very happy, especially the part in my letter where I describe how the sales rep lied to ABC. DTC subpoenas me for a deposition. I have to tell DTC's lawyers everything that I told ABC's lawyers. Lawyer stuff. The day before the deposition, DTC sues me directly. Remember DTC's stock crashing? They're suing me for badmouthing the company and attempting to short their stock, which I wasn't. However, there's a twist. Because DTC is suing me directly, I don't have to say shit to them at the deposition. Their preparation for the lawsuit goes completely out the window. They know they're fucked because they read the letter I sent hours, but they don't know how fucked because they don't know what else I know or what I've told ABC's lawyers. Additionally, because they never deposed me, that can't catch me contradicting myself between what I say at the deposition and at trial. They're dumbfounded. No idea how they could have fucked this up this badly. Turns out there were 2 legal teams, one defending against ABC's lawsuit, and another trying to scare people away from talking shit about the company on the internet by indiscriminately suing their critics. They don't communicate with each other, and the one team didn't mention to the other team that they would be suing a key witness in their case. DTC settles the lawsuit with ABC, and they drop the lawsuit against me, and they fire the sales rep, the sale rep manager, and his manager too. Third story. Work did nothing about sexual harassment, so I took it into my own hands. I was told by a friend to post a story here, so here it goes. I work a heavy labor job with a 95% male population. My workplace has a zero-tolerance sexual harassment policy, but when push comes to shove, apparently that's not true. The men at my work are ruthless. I've heard so many sexual comments from people I've never spoken to before, I've lost count. Imagine the most vulgar statement you can think of. I've heard worse, but I'll let it slide. It doesn't bother me. However, I've been stalked by this guy, James. He parked beside my car every day so he could walk into work with me and leave work with me. He would follow me after work to figure out what my routine was. Whatever, I ignored it. Probably should have kept it documented though. I'm a very outgoing person at work and know just about everyone. A few of my friends said James was telling them I sent him naked photos. His friend Muhammad chimed in he's seen them and it's 100% true. Well, that was the last straw and I reported him to human resources. Nothing came out of it other than a slap on the wrist. The manager told me to wear baggier clothing and have thicker skin. However, a lot of the other females at work told me they're having the same problem with these 2 men and work is doing nothing about it. Well, now James and Muhammad have a god complex and have been showing naked photos to anyone they can, saying it's me, which I've explained to many people who have come up to me that it's not me because I'm covered in tattoos. So unless that girl has all the same tattoos, it's not me. I also don't take naked photos. They go out of their way to bully me for snitching on them like little kids. Well, after a few months of this, and knowing other girls are in the same boat, I had enough. I could report them again, but I doubt anything will come of it. So I had an idea. A few nights ago I was driving home, and they sped past me at the speed of light, honking their horns, high beaming me, etc. So I went home and gave an anonymous tip to the police, because this happens 5 days of the week. The police caught them the next day, fined for stunt driving, license suspended, cars impounded for 7 days, and need to go to court. Work is a long commute from our town. They have no way of getting to work, and after 7 call-ins, you're fired. Now, they can reflect at home with no job, no license, or increased insurance about how karma is a B***tch. Edit. I read all the comments when I woke up. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. I'm overwhelmed by the nice comments towards me. I've been feeling very down about the situation and you've lifted me up. I'm now documenting everything in case anything else happens. As for the religion comments, I'm sorry this turned into a religious debate. If it gives any affirmation to the Muslims reading this, Muhammad was born in North America and very Americanized. I don't think he practices a religion. I'm also sorry this is more pro-revenge than nuclear according to a few comments. I don't browse Reddit much, just look at cute animals and stuff video game related. A friend of mine told me to post here. Hope you all enjoyed the story anyway.